Hello! Welcome back to the Man's Kitchen. It's me, your host, James the Man's Man. And today we're doing a viewer request. We're going to be making chicken a la king, which was requested by a user that goes by the name Jason. He requested it in our last kitchen video, which was our 200 subscriber celebration. And I believe at the time of filming today, I'm actually at 210. You, the community, are making this a very special place for me, and you're making it much more enjoyable for me to be making these videos. Now, we're going to be making chicken a la king today, and we're going to get to that right after this. Alright, so before we continue on, if you like this video, I'd ask that you click the like icon. If you like my channel and haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and ding the bell icon so YouTube gives you notifications when I post new videos. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, I do regularly update those social media accounts, and that way you can get cool pictures and behind-the-scenes content. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's get to the ingredients. We have mushrooms. I have roughly about half a pound of mushrooms. I have 1 bell pepper. I have 1/2 cup of butter. I have 1.5 cup of milk. I have 1.25 cup of chicken stock. I have 1/2 cup of flour. We'll be making a roux today, and your roux are always equal parts fat, equal part flour. I have 2 split chicken breasts, about 1 pound, and I have some pimentos. These were canned, and I just diced them. If you need to know how to make chicken stock, you can watch our chicken stock video. If you need to know how to cut up vegetables, you can watch our video on cutting up vegetables. Now behind me, I've preheated my pan, and I have some water on that has already come to a boil, and I just turned down, because we're going to cook up a package of noodles. We're using broad egg noodles today. So what we need to do is we need to melt our butter, cook our peppers, and our mushrooms. So we're going to open up our butter. We're going to drop it in our pan, which I had at a roaring heat earlier, but it's been a few minutes. Now you might be thinking that's a lot of butter to just cook up those vegetables, but actually that butter is going to bind with the flour, and that's going to create a roux which will thicken our sauce. So I'm just turning the heat back up here. The nice thing is with gas is your heat is almost instant, so we had the pan hot, and now we just turn it back up, and this butter is melting rather fast. So we're going to add our mushrooms. And our peppers. Into this pan of butter, and I'm going to saute these for about 5 to 7 minutes until everything gets soft and cooked. Alright, we're back. It's been 6 minutes, and you can clearly see, everything is cooked down, and I did it, so I had the oven on high for the first minute or two just to make sure the butter would get melted, and then I turned it down low so I wouldn't brown any of the butter. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our milk. We're going to pour in our chicken stock. Okay, we're going to return this to the heat, and then once this gets hot, we're going to add in our flour. So I'm going to bring you over to the stove. Okay, so we brought this back. I brought you over to the stove, and I turned this back up to a high heat, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to start to at least get hot to start to simmer. I've switched from a wooden spoon to a flat whisk. And I know what you're going to say. Before you say anything about using a stainless steel whisk in a nonstick pan, I'm going to wreck the pan. I know this. So just be careful not to touch the pan. So you just have to float it in there and not touch it. So I'll bring you back in a minute once this starts to simmer. Okay, we're starting to simmer now. So I'm going to turn the heat down. I don't really want to boil this. You really don't want to bring dairy products to a full boil. And we're going to add in our ½ cup of flour. Now, like I mentioned, a ½ cup of flour and a ½ cup of butter. They're equal proportions. And that's going to make a roux, which is going to be the thickening agent. So you want to make sure that you whisk this in well to get rid of the lumps. And roux need to be cooked to cook out the flour. So this is going to take about 5 minutes. So we're just going to keep on whisking this until we get rid of our lumps. All right, we're at the last stage here. We're going to take our noodles. We're going to put them into our pot. We're going to take our chicken and drop it in. We're going to show everybody the world's cutest baby real fast. And then we're going to add our pimentos. Okay? So basically what's going to happen right now is the stew that we've made is going to reheat our leftover chicken, or you could use turkey. And we're cooking some noodles over here for the base. So in about 8 minutes, when everything's ready, I'll show you how we put it together. And I'll be back to you then. We're back finally. We're finished. It was 7 minutes. 7 minutes of the chicken a la king simmering to get heat through that leftover chicken, and 7 minutes to cook the noodles. Now, one thing I did off camera was I put some water in my pasta water. I put some salt in my pasta water. Now we're going to taste this for final seasoning. So we're just going to put a little bit. So we're going to add a bit of salt. Maybe a bit more. Okay. And a little bit of pepper. I'll whisk that up. And now we're going to come in. So I'm using 2 spoons. This is the spoon that can go into the product. This is the spoon that can go into my mouth. That way nobody else has to taste my spit. Much better. So we have our noodles here. Spoon. We give ourselves about that much. Let's scoop up some of this. I didn't realize I skipped breakfast today, so I'll scoop myself up a little bit more. And we're going to taste this up right after this. All right, now let's taste her up. That is delicious. There's a very nice balance there between the pimento and the mushrooms and the regular peppers. Actually, I was able to get just a little bit of everything in that pork bowl. Now, I'll put a link in the description below where I found this recipe. And remember, if you like this video, please click the like button. If you like my channel, please hit the subscribe button and ding the bell icon so YouTube actually sends you notifications when I post new videos. Have yourself a great evening, and I'll see you next week back in the man's kitchen.